We want to convert product DTO to product and vice versa. For that, we will have to use AutoMapper. Inside the dependencies packages, we have already added AutoMapper as well as AutoMapper extension for dependency injection. Now you can do all of the configuration inside the startup class file, or you can split that up inside a separate class file. So we'll create a new class file. I will call this as mapping config. Right here, we will create a method that will return the mapping configuration for AutoMapper. So it will be a public static method so that we can call that directly inside the startup class file. The return type will be a mapper configuration, which is inside AutoMapper. So you will also have to add a using statement for AutoMapper. With Visual Studio 2019, you do not have to explicitly write using AutoMapper. It automatically adds that if it finds that in IntelliSense. But if you were using previous version, then you'll have to manually add the using statement, or you'll have to use control dot to include that. The method name, I will call this as register maps, and then what mapping configuration we want. So we'll create a variable mapping config, and this will be a new mapper configuration. We will say config goes to, and we will add our configuration. So we can say config.createMap, and we want to map the product DTO to the product class. We'll have to do control dot for the using statements. This looks good for one configuration. Then we will also have to convert product to product DTO. So you can create the second mapping here, which is product to product DTO. You can also use .reverse map here. That will automatically add the reverse mapping. But I wanted to show you how to do that in two separate lines. Once we have the configuration, we will return mapping config. Here we are telling AutoMapper we want to convert the product DTO to product and product to product DTO. AutoMapper will automatically map the properties as long as the names are same. If they are different, then it won't touch them. You can explicitly define some things here if the names are different, but in our case, we do not have that issue. All the property names inside product DTO and product matches exactly, so AutoMapper should work automatically. The next thing is to use this register map inside our startup class file. So right here inside the startup class file, we'll have iMapper. You will have to add the using statement of AutoMapper if it does not do that automatically. We'll call that mapper is equal to, we will call the mapping config class. In there we have the register maps method, and on top of that we will call the create mapper. That will create the mapping. Now this instance we want to add as a singleton implementation. So we'll say services.add singleton, and we will be adding the mapper. And after that we will say services.add AutoMapper, and then we will pass the app domain here. In there we have the current domain .getAssemblies. That will complete the AutoMapper configuration in our product API. So perfect, things are looking good. So let me close everything. Now in the next video, we want to create the implementation for the iProduct repository interface.